Welcome to The Debate. So I want you to picture this. It is 6 p.m. on a Tuesday.
Oh, the absolute danger zone.
Exactly. The danger zone. You've just worked a 10-hour shift, your toddlers are screaming in the background, and you have exactly 15 minutes to put food on the table before a full-scale meltdown occurs.
Right. We've all been there.
Yeah. So do you become a culinary artist, carefully alchemizing raw, earthy materials into sustenance? Or do you become a factory manager, just rapidly assembling pre-made parts to hit a quota?
Well, we normally picture a home kitchen as this, sanctuary of creation.
Right, but if you step into the actual reality of modern parenting, that kitchen looks a lot more like an air traffic control center for macronutrients.
It really does.
So today, we are examining the defining culinary shift of our current moment, which is the 2026 freezer meal prep trend. We're looking specifically at the widespread practice of relying on air fryers to transform frozen staples. Things like chicken nuggets, oven chips, frozen vegetables, into these visually appealing, hot family meals.
Which is everywhere right now.
It is everywhere, and I will be arguing that this freezer-to-fryer method is a highly pragmatic, technologically supported triumph. It democratizes healthy enough cooking for exhausted mothers, offering a time-saving revolution that really reclaims maternal energy. But you hold a much more skeptical view of this trend.
I do, yes. I will be arguing that while the air fryer is undeniably a technological marvel, it really is. Over-relying on highly processed frozen foods fundamentally undercuts the true health potential of the appliance.
Okay, but
Hear me out. We are redefining the act of cooking into mere assembly. And in doing so, we are compromising the nutritional and, the culinary integrity of what it actually means to serve a home-cooked meal.
I get that. But to understand why this trend is dominating modern domestic life, we really have to look at the baseline reality for parents in 2026.
Sure.
The air fryer has become the perfect companion for the busy mother because it represents an incredibly rational adaptation to a totally unreasonable societal burden. We expect parents to work full-time, manage households, and somehow still produce a nutritious, hot meal from scratch every single evening.
It's a lot to ask, I agree.
It's impossible for most. So this appliance uses rapid air technology, right? Sucking air into an intake chamber, heating it up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and using a fan to circulate it at high velocity around the cooking chamber.
Yes, it's brilliant engineering.
But the real magic isn't just the convection, it's the automation. Mothers can utilize automated temperature controls and buzzers to safely walk away. They just throw in cheat ingredients like frozen oven chips that require no washing, peeling, or chopping, or frozen boneless chicken breasts that require no thawing.
Right, it's the ultimate set it and forget it.
Exactly. By utilizing these freezer staples, families are sitting down to beautiful, delicious hot meals instead of resorting to the fast food drive-thru. It just completely removes the barrier to entry for a hot meal.
Look, I don't disagree that the rapid air technology is efficient. Circulating air at 400 degrees to mimic deep frying without submerging food in a vat of boiling oil, it's a brilliant engineering feat, as I said.
Huge innovation.
But we must be precise about what we are actually celebrating here, because the primary, widely documented health benefit of the air fryer is its ability to reduce oil intake by up to 80% when cooking fresh foods.
Right, which is fantastic.
It is. But when we rely heavily on processed frozen items, like pre-breaded nuggets and factory-cut pre-fried French fries, we entirely negate that core benefit.
I wouldn't say entirely negate.
Well, true healthy meal prep, like the Mediterranean approach of quick roasting fresh vegetables and raw seafood, is equally fast. It utilizes the exact same rapid air technology, but it is far superior nutritionally to just relying on the freezer aisle.
See, I'm not convinced by that line of reasoning because it drastically underestimates the mechanics of time efficiency in a modern mother's schedule.
How so?
You are looking purely at the minutes the machine is running. Look at the techniques popularized by culinary authors in this space, like Haley Dean, right? She's a busy single mother who built an entire philosophy around the air fryer.
I'm familiar with her work, yeah.
She relies on these freezer staples precisely because she lacks endless time for shopping, washing, and chopping. If you are a parent listening to this right now, you know exactly what that decision fatigue feels like.
Oh, the cognitive load is very real.
The sheer cognitive load of just deciding what to feed people every single night is exhausting. When you take a frozen boneless chicken breast, rub it with a little oil and seasoning, and put it in the basket for 15 minutes, flipping halfway through and basting with barbecue sauce, whatever, you are completely bypassing the mental load of meal planning.
But you're missing the...
Wait, let me finish. You take frozen chips straight from the freezer. There is no peeling, there is no parboiling, there is no cleanup of potato skins all over the counter. The time efficiency of the 2026 trend isn't just about the cooking time, it is the total elimination of the prep work.
I come at it from a different way. I can see that time is saved on the prep end. Absolutely.
Good, because that's a massive factor.
It is. But we have to look at what is lost in terms of culinary value and the actual chemistry of cooking. When you place a fresh, lightly oiled ingredient into that high-velocity hot air, you are initiating the Maillard reaction.
Okay, let's just make sure we clarify that for the listener really quick. You're talking about the browning process, right?
Exactly, yes. It's that magical chemical reaction that gives a baked loaf of bread its beautiful golden crust or makes a seared steak smell absolutely irresistible.
Right, the flavor building.
Yes. It is a literal chemical reaction where heat breaks down amino acids and reducing sugars to create entirely new, profound flavor compounds. That is the essence of cooking.
Sure. But when you throw a factory-breaded chicken nugget or a frozen oven chip into an air fryer, that Maillard reaction has already happened. It happened in a massive industrial facility 6 months ago.
I mean,
The factory deep-fried it, they froze it, and now the mother is simply utilizing a countertop convection oven to reheat it. The air fryer is just waking up a dormant, heavily processed product. We are calling it cooking, but mechanically, it is merely thermal resuscitation.
thermal resuscitation. Okay, I see why you think that, but let me give you a completely different perspective. I think you are looking at the freezer as a nutritional graveyard.
Well, for highly processed foods, it often is. In reality, we should think of the freezer as a digital cloud for food. It is just a highly efficient storage system.
A digital cloud?
Hear me out. A frozen oven chip or a frozen floret of broccoli is simply a pre-cut, pre-portioned ingredient waiting to be downloaded into the air fryer.
Downloaded.
Right.
It's exactly like having a sous chef who already prepped the mise en place for you. Why should a mother spend 20 minutes peeling and juliating potatoes when the modern freezing process, which, by the way, often locks in nutrients just hours after harvest, can do that heavy lifting for her?
That is a very clever analogy, but if you download corrupted files from your digital cloud, you get a corrupted output.
Oh, wow, okay.
And we have to draw a hard definitional line between frozen raw ingredients and frozen processed foods. I am absolutely not against the freezer as a concept. Okay, so you concede the freezer isn't entirely evil.
Of course not. We see incredible applications utilizing frozen raw ingredients. You can take frozen raw salmon fillets, season them with cayenne, garlic powder, oregano, and paprika, and air fry them for 15 minutes, straight from frozen.
Which is a lifesaver.
It is. You can take frozen raw okra and green beans, toss them with nutritional yeast and balsamic vinegar, and have a vibrant side dish. Those are raw inputs. But the 2026 trend we're debating heavily relies on processed foods, the dinosaur nuggets, the curly fries, the breaded chicken patties.
Because that's what kids actually eat.
But conflating frozen raw salmon with a frozen factory-formed chicken nugget creates a massive false sense of health, simply because the mother used an air fryer instead of a deep fryer.
Okay, but that false sense of health is actually a measurable relative improvement. We have to look at the baseline here. What is the alternative for a mother experiencing severe burnout at 6 p.m.?
Well, it shouldn't have to be...
It isn't pan-searing a fresh salmon fillet. The alternative is packing the kids into the car and sitting in a fast food drive-thru.
That's a fair point.
Right? The high-velocity hot air in these machines keeps the fat content remarkably low without sacrificing that crucial crunch. Even if a chicken nugget is processed, air frying it at home with zero added oil is a massive nutritional victory over the deep-fried drive-thru alternative for a busy family.
A victory?
Yes, The air fryer forces the hot air down over the food, crisping the exterior while keeping the interior moist. The residual oil that is already in the frozen nugget is usually enough to crisp it, and any excess fat actually drips away through the grated basket. Mechanically, you are executing a healthier preparation of that convenience food.
I'm sorry, but I just don't buy that. Let me tell you why. By praising the assembly of frozen nuggets and fries as a, quote, beautiful home-cooked meal, we are systematically lowering the bar for home nutrition.
Lowering the bar?
Yes. We are accepting a highly processed diet as the inevitable, inescapable default for busy families. And it is completely unnecessary because the appliance is capable of so much more in the exact same amount of time. You don't have to settle for the corrupted file.
Wait, you're arguing that preparing a fresh meal from scratch is just as fast as dumping a bag of frozen chips into the basket?
Mechanically, absolutely it is. Let's look at the Mediterranean diet applications dominating current nutritional research. You can take fresh zucchini, cherry tomatoes, and mushrooms, toss them in a single teaspoon of olive oil, and air fry them in under 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes of cooking.
The tomatoes burst. The zucchini caramelizes. There's your Maillard reaction right there. You can crack fresh eggs over a quick shakshuka or poach them directly in ramekins inside the air fryer in 7 minutes.
Sure, the cooking time is fast.
This Mediterranean approach, quick roasting fresh produce and lean proteins, utilizes the exact same rapid air technology. It requires the exact same push of a button, but it relies on whole foods that provide dietary fiber, complex carbohydrates, and essential vitamins that are entirely absent in a monochrome plate of frozen fries and nuggets.
That's an interesting point, though. I would frame it very differently. You are entirely isolating the 15 minutes of cooking time and ignoring the invisible labor that surrounds it.
What invisible labor? You chop a zucchini in 60 seconds.
It is not just about the 60 seconds of chopping. It is the mental energy of sourcing fresh Mediterranean produce. It is the cognitive load of checking the refrigerator inventory on a Tuesday morning, remembering if the zucchini has gone soft, washing the tomatoes, mincing the fresh garlic so it doesn't burn in the high heat.
But prep is part of eating well.
And timing the fresh fish perfectly so the convective air doesn't dry it out. It is severe decision fatigue. When a mother reaches into the freezer for golden fries and crispy chicken tenders, she isn't just saving knife work, she is saving her own psychological bandwidth.
But at what nutritional cost?
And more importantly, she is fulfilling her family's psychological need for a shared, comforting, visually appealing meal.
Visually appealing, meaning it looks like restaurant food.
Exactly. It looks like comfort. The golden brown crunch of an air-fried nugget or fry mimics the sensory satisfaction of deep-fried food. It brings the family to the table without a fight. The children eat it happily.
Right, because it's engineered to be hyper-palatable.
But the mother hasn't burned out her last remaining nerve trying to force-feed them charred Mediterranean vegetables. We cannot divorce the nutritional value of a meal from the psychological environment in which it is prepared and consumed. A stress-free meal of air-fried, frozen staples has immense, quantifiable value for family dynamics.
I mean, that is a highly empathetic view of the mother's burden, and I really don't dismiss the reality of cognitive fatigue. If you are drowning, you grab a life preserver.
Exactly.
And I understand that a bag of frozen fries can be a life preserver. But if we accept your argument as the permanent new normal, we are essentially saying that the industrial food complex has won.
Oh, come on.
We are. We are conceding that preparing fresh food is simply too difficult for the modern family, and we must outsource our baseline nutrition to factories.
I wouldn't say the food industry has won. I'd say technology has provided a highly functional middle ground.
But is it a middle ground? Let's look at the physical mechanics of what's happening to the food inside that chamber. When you use the air fryer for fresh vegetables, let's say broccoli florets or asparagus dusted with a little Parmesan, the high heat rapidly evaporates the surface moisture.
Right, which makes it crispy.
Yes, it concentrates the natural sugars and flavors of the vegetable. You get a slight, delicious char on the edges and a tender interior. You are elevating a raw ingredient.
Sure.
When you put a frozen, pre-cooked nugget in there, the hot air is just blasting a preset crust. Yes, the buzzer sounds and you can walk away, Yes, the digital touchscreen is convenient, but the appliance is essentially acting as a very expensive microwave with a fan.
Okay, I have to push back hard on that. Comparing an air fryer to a microwave fundamentally misunderstands the thermodynamic reality of the appliance.
Do tell.
They operate on completely different laws of physics. A microwave heats the water molecules inside the food using electromagnetic radiation. That is exactly why if you try to reheat frozen fries in a microwave, they steam themselves into a limp, soggy, unappetizing mess.
Right, they get ruined.
Exactly. But the air fryer utilizes convective heat transfer. The heating element intensely warms the air, and the fan forces that high-temperature air rapidly around the food. This creates a highly efficient heat transfer coefficient.
And what does that actually mean for the food on a chemical level?
It means the rapidly circulating hot air evaporates the surface moisture of the frozen fry instantly, creating a crust. Meanwhile, the starches inside absorb the trapped moisture and swell up. That's starch gelatinization.
Okay, yes, gelatinization.
Right, which gives you that fluffy, cloud-like interior with a crispy, structurally sound exterior. That physics equation is exactly why the 2026 freezer meal prep trend is so powerful. It takes a frozen, unappealing brick of a potato and turns it into a hot, crispy, delicious meal that rivals deep frying without the literal vat of oil. It is not a microwave, it is a countertop convection oven performing a culinary rescue mission.
That's a compelling argument, but have you considered that the thermodynamics you are describing are exactly why the air fryer is so brilliant for fresh foods?
Sure, it works for both.
It brings professional-level, restaurant-quality convection roasting to the home kitchen. My issue is not with the thermodynamics, it is with the inputs. You called it a culinary rescue mission, but the air fryer does not remove the sodium from a heavily processed nugget.
No, it doesn't.
It does not replace the dietary fiber that was stripped out of the potato during processing. It simply makes those refined carbohydrates incredibly crispy and palatable. If a busy mother uses the convective heat to cook frozen raw salmon and frozen raw green beans, which we know take just 15 to 20 minutes, she is getting convenience and nutrition.
If she has the energy for that?
But when she defaults to the processed nuggets, she is sacrificing long-term health for short-term convenience, and the incredible engineering of the air fryer is acting as an enabler.
Calling it an enabler implies a negative addiction. I would call it facilitator of survival.
Survival?
Yes, let's look at the specific viral recipes we see dominating this trend. We aren't just talking about dumping a plain plate of nuggets onto a table and calling it a day.
Sometimes we are.
Well, sometimes. But we are seeing incredible creativity that bridges the gap between fresh and frozen. Mothers are using the air fryer to make chicken pesto ciabatta sandwiches, where the chicken might be a frozen breaded fillet cooked in the air fryer, but it's immediately combined with fresh pesto, sliced tomatoes, and high-quality bread.
Right. A hybrid approach.
Exactly. They are making double sausage, egg and cheese breakfast muffins in 10 minutes, air frying the frozen sausage patties, and cracking fresh eggs simultaneously into ramekins. They are taking frozen staples and using them as the foundational building blocks for more complex, highly satisfying meals. The frozen element is just the shortcut. It isn't the whole story.
I will certainly grant you that using a frozen element as a component of a larger, fresher meal is a step in the right direction. That shows, engagement with the food.
Right.
But the defining characteristic of the 2026 freezer meal prep trend, the aspect that is radically shaping domestic habits, is the total reliance on the freezer to fryer pipeline for the entire plate. It's the dump and press start mentality.
Because it works.
And while the touch panels, digital screens, and automatic shutoffs make this incredibly safe and easy, it fundamentally divorces the family from the basic literacy of food preparation.
I'm not convinced by that line of reasoning because it assumes that food literacy only looks one way, standing over a stove, chopping vegetables, and monitoring a simmering pot.
Well, that is traditionally what cooking is.
But food literacy in 2026 looks different. It looks like understanding which appliance achieves the best texture. It looks like knowing that you can achieve a perfectly cooked meal with 80% less fat than traditional frying without being physically tethered to the kitchen.
I suppose that is a form of literacy.
It is. It looks like a mother successfully managing a full-time career, childcare, and domestic duties without having a nervous breakdown, all while providing a hot meal that her children will actually eat and enjoy.
But we have to ask ourselves, at what point Does convenience cost us our culinary soul? If we train a generation of children that a beautiful home-cooked meal consists entirely of uniform, geometrically perfect shapes of processed proteins and starches, we lose the cultural and tactile connection to real food.
That feels a bit overly dramatic.
I don't think it is. We lose the understanding that a potato has skin or that a chicken has bones. Food becomes an abstraction.
Okay, I think children can learn that a potato has skin without the mother being forced to peel it at 6 p.m. on a Tuesday after working a 10-hour shift.
That is fair, I'll give you that. But the beauty of the air fryer is that it is capable of baking a whole unpeeled potato in 40 minutes completely hands-off. It can roast a whole bone-in chicken.
Sure, if you have 40 minutes.
But the appliance itself offers the solution to the exact problem you are describing. It automates the cooking of whole foods just as easily as it automates the reheating of processed foods. The limitation is not time, the limitation is the habit we are forming. When you choose the nugget over the whole potato, you are making a choice about nutrition, not just time.
The habit we are forming is efficiency in the face of overwhelming demands. And I think this brings us to a natural point of summary for our discussion today.
I agree.
As we look at the 2026 freezer meal prep trend, my position remains that this is a highly rational, evidence-based adaptation by busy mothers. By leveraging the air fryer's rapid air technology alongside frozen staples, mothers are successfully reclaiming their time and energy.
And they certainly need it.
They do. They are using the automated temperature controls and buzzers to step away from the kitchen and manage the rest of their demanding lives. And they are doing this while still providing hot, appealing, and lower-fat meals for their families. The air fryer has democratized the ability to put a hot dinner on the table, removing the immense cognitive load of traditional meal prep. It transforms the kitchen from a place of stress into a place of pragmatic execution.
And I conclude that while the air fryer is undeniably a technological marvel that offers unprecedented convenience, we must maintain definitional precision about what we are feeding ourselves.
Right.
The assembly of processed frozen foods, no matter how perfectly crisped by convective heat or how efficiently starches are gelatinized, should not entirely replace the use of fresh ingredients. The true health benefits of this appliance, namely the dramatic reduction in cooking oils and the brilliant use of high-velocity heat, are fully realized only when the air fryer is used to elevate fresh, whole foods. We must be careful not to let the brilliant engineering of the machine mask the nutritional deficiencies of the highly processed foods we put inside it.
Well, we can certainly both agree that the air fryer has fundamentally changed kitchen dynamics.
Without a doubt.
The boundary between a quick snack and a full meal has been permanently blurred, and the appliance has redefined what is possible on a busy weeknight.
Absolutely. It has expanded our culinary options immensely, even if we continue to disagree on where the exact line between cooking and assembling should be drawn.
There is clearly much more to explore in the current trends and prevailing research surrounding modern meal prep. Listeners will just have to find their own balance between the psychological convenience of the freezer aisle and the nutritional yield of fresh ingredients.
It ultimately comes down to what you choose to put in the basket.
Right. So when you look at that kitchen counter tonight, you have to ask yourself, are you stepping up to a manufacturing assembly line to hit a quota, or are you just a tired parent looking for a really brilliant shortcut? Thanks for listening.